Hello friends, you are watching 3A's Vision, an innovative distance learning channel. We have started a series of videos about international financial reporting standards and international accounting standards, followed one by one. It is most important and desired that if you are interested in improving your learnings in international financial reporting standards and international accounting standards, subscribe to our channel and click on bell icon to get our future updates. Dear friends, in preparation of IFRS 1 video, we tried our level best to cover the maximum matter of discussion, which will be helpful to understand the IFRS 1. Therefore, keeping in view length of this video, we have split up the video of this standard in different parts to control its time length. Therefore, to get complete knowledge, watch its all parts. IFRS 1, first time adoption of International Financial Reporting Standards. There are four main elements of IFRS 1, which we will discuss in detail in our videos, that are: Number 1, most important features of IFRS 1. Number 2, overview of the requirements of the standard. Number 3, specific exceptions and exemptions. Number 4, other components of financial statements. In part first of IFRS 1 videos, we will discuss the first two main elements of IFRS 1, that are most important feature of IFRS 1 and overview of the requirements of the standard. And the remaining elements of IFRS 1 will be discussed in next videos, keeping in view the time length of the videos. Most important features of IFRS 1. There are 9 key factors of this feature, which we discuss here in detail, that are: date of transition, IFRS reporting period, recognition of assets and liabilities, adjustments applications, estimates, financial statements requirements, historical summaries, presentation and disclosure requirements, and finally exceptions and exemptions. Date of transition. An opening IFRS statement of financial position is prepared at the date of transition. This is the starting point for an entity's accounting in accordance with IFRSs. The date of transition is the beginning of the first period for which an entity presents its full comparative information under IFRSs in its first IFRS financial statements. For entities that present 1 year of comparative information in their financial reports, the date of transition is the first day of the comparative period. IFRS reporting period. In its first IFRS financial statements, an entity applies the version of IFRSs effective at the end of its first IFRS reporting period. As a general principle, all IFRSs effective at that date are applied retrospectively, subject to certain exceptions and exemptions set out in IFRS 1. For example, an entity with a December year end that present its first IFRS financial statements for its 2009 reporting period applies all IFRSs effective at 31st December 2009. Recognition of assets and liabilities. The entity recognizes all assets and liabilities in accordance with the requirements of IFRSs and de-recognizes assets and liabilities that do not qualify for recognition under IFRSs. Adjustments applications. All adjustments resulting from the applications of IFRSs to the opening IFRS statement for financial position are recognized in retained earnings, or if appropriate, another category of equity at the date of transition, except for reclassifications between goodwill and intangible assets. Estimates. With limited exceptions, estimates in accordance with the IFRSs at the date of transition must be consistent with the estimate made for the same date under previous generally accepted accounting principle. Financial statements requirements. An entity's first IFRS financial statements include at least 3 statements of financial positions, including one at the date of transition, that is at the beginning of the comparative period, 2 statements of comprehensive income, 2 income statements if presented, 2 statements of cash flows, and 2 statements of changes in equity. All of these statements must be in compliance with IFRSs. Historical summaries. Entities are permitted to present historical summaries of certain data for periods before the date of transition which do not comply with IFRSs, as long as the information is prominently labeled as not being prepared in accordance with IFRSs. Where such information is presented, the entity must also explain the nature of the main adjustments that would be required to render the information compliant with IFRSs. Presentation and disclosure requirements. IFRS 1 requires compliance with all of the presentation and disclosure requirements of other standards and interpretations, and imposes additional disclosure requirements specific to the first IFRS financial statements. In particular, a first-time adopter is required to provide reconciliations between amounts reported under previous GAAP and the equivalent measures under IFRSs. These reconciliations must clearly identify the correction of any errors in relation to an entity's previous GAAP financial statements. Exceptions and exemptions. There are 4 mandatory exceptions to IFRS 1's general principle of retrospective applications of IFRSs at the date of transition and 16 optional exemptions. These exceptions and exemptions, discussed in detail in next section, are very specific and may not be applied by analogy to other items. The second feature of this standard, that is overview of the requirements of the standard. There are 6 key factors of this feature which we discuss in detail, that are objective of the standard, scope of the standard, recognition and measurement general principle, exceptions to and exemptions from the general principle, and finally presentation and disclosure requirement. First of all, objective of the standard. The objective of IFRS 1 is to ensure that an entity's first IFRS financial statements and interim financial reports for part of the period covered by those financial statements contain high quality information that is transparent for users and comparable over all periods presented, provides a suitable starting point for accounting under IFRSs, and can be generated at a cost that does not exceed the benefit to users. Secondly, scope of the standard. Entities are required to apply IFRS 1 in their first IFRS financial statements and in each interim financial report, if any, prepared in accordance with IAS 34, that is interim financial reporting, for part of the period covered by those first IFRS financial statements. An entity's first IFRS financial statements are the first annual financial statements in which it adopts IFRSs by including an explicit and unreserved statement of compliance with IFRS. IFRS financial statements would be considered to be an entity's first IFRS financial statements if the entity presented its most recent previous financial statements in accordance with the national requirements that are not consistent with IFRSs in all respects. In conformity with IFRSs in all respects except that the financial statements did not contain an explicit and unreserved statement that they complied with IFRSs, containing an explicit statement of compliance with some but not all IFRSs in accordance with national requirements inconsistent with IFRSs using some individual IFRSs to account for items for which national requirements did not exist, or in accordance with national requirements with the reconciliation of some amounts to the amount determined under IFRSs. Recognition and measurement. General principle. The general principle underlying IFRS 1 is that a first-time adopter should apply the version of each IFRS effective at the end of its first IFRS reporting period retrospectively. Therefore, the first-time IFRS financial statements are presented as if the entity had always applied IFRSs, subject to certain exemptions and exceptions as defined in this IFRS. The starting point in IFRS 1 is an opening IFRS statement of financial position prepared at the date of transition to IFRSs. The date of transition to IFRSs is defined as the beginning of the earliest period for which an entity presents full comparative information under IFRSs in its first IFRS financial statements. Entities are required to apply the same accounting policies in the opening IFRS statement of financial positions and throughout all periods presented in the first IFRS financial statements. Exceptions to and exemptions from the general principle. First of all, mandatory exceptions to retrospective applications. In the course of developing IFRS 1, the International Accounting Standard Board identified 4 situations where they believed retrospective application of IFRSs could not be performed with sufficient reliability. As a result, in those 4 following situations, IFRS 1 prohibits full retrospective application of IFRSs. These exceptions is discussed in more detail in this video, that are accounting estimates, derecognition of financial assets and financial liabilities, hedge accounting, and non-controlling interests. Secondly, optional exemptions from the general principle. Retrospective application of IFRSs can require significant resources and could, in some circumstances, be impracticable. The International Accounting Standard Board decided that the cost of applying IFRSs retrospectively may exceed the benefit in certain instances. IFRS 1 therefore provides 16 optional exemptions from the general principle of full retrospective application. A detailed discussion of each exemption can be found in next section of this video, with a focus on application issues that may arise. Presentation and disclosure requirements. The presentation and disclosure requirements of IFRS 1 are compliance with the presentation and disclosure requirements of other standards, explaining the transition of IFRSs, interim reporting, comparative information, and other disclosure requirements. In part 2 of IFRS 1 videos, we will discuss about mandatory exceptions of third main element of IFRS 1, that is specific exceptions and exemptions.